Hi, I'm Chelsea of Friday Pattern Company, and today we are going to be making an Adrienne Blouse hack. So the Adrienne Blouse is a pretty popular pattern for us. It's a simple knit blouse, not simple on style, simple to sew, and I wanted to make like a dress hack of it, so I added a gathered skirt and some pockets, and I'll take you through the changes that I made to the pattern. I'm not going to go through sewing the Adrienne Blouse in this video. I'm just going to show you how I did the hack and how you could, you could honestly use this to add a gathered skirt to whatever knit top. And then I'll show you a few ways I styled it. I decided to make it in black because I love black clothes, but I end up not making them as often as I would otherwise because they're hard to photograph, they're hard to see and share on social media, but I wanted to change that because I just really like wearing black clothes, and this did turn out kind of like a witch's outfit, so I have Halloween covered as well. Yeah, it's kind of like elegant summer goth, I would say maybe. So yeah, I really love how this dress turned out, and I can't wait to share it with you. Oh my god, there's baby turkeys outside. Anyway, sorry for that interruption. I had to go chase down the turkeys because I have not seen these babies. It's spring, y'all. So cute. Anyway, yeah, this is a window that I'm looking out right here into my neighborhood. That's why I was able to see the turkeys, but yeah. Okay, let's get on with the hack. The one change I made to the bodice was to shorten it by 5 inches, and I honestly could have shortened it a little bit more. So follow the instructions in your pattern to basically sew the entire blouse except for hemming the bottom. And then we have a couple other pieces to cut. I cut out 4 pockets. For the skirt, you're going to need 2 panels. The length of the panel is going to be the length that you want your skirt to be plus your seam and hem allowance. And the width is going to be your fullest hip measurement times 1.5 and then divided by 2. So for example, with my measurements, my hips are 41. So when I times that times 1.5, it's 61.5 inches. And then I divide that by 2, which is 30.75. And then I add in seam allowances on each side, which I'm going to do 3/8 on each side. So I'll do 2 seam allowances, which comes out to 31.51. We'll just do 31.5 because it doesn't matter. You can fudge these numbers a tiny bit depending on the width of your fabric or if you want it fuller or less full. So yeah, here are the final measurements for the 2 panels that I'm going to use to make my skirt, and then I'll just cut those out. So I have those panels cut, and now I'm going to add notches where I want the pockets to start. I measured these 5 inches down, and I think the pockets work where they are, but I would maybe, if I made this again, bump them up like 1.5 inches. So I'm just measuring down on the side seam and then making a little snip, and then repeat that on both sides and both panels. Now we're going to pin our pockets in place along our side seams. So you'll just place your pockets right sides together on the skirt, matching the top of the pocket up with the notch that you cut, and then you will just pin it in place, and then we'll take it over to the sewing machine and we'll just sew right down the pocket to join it with the skirt. And you'll repeat that on both sides and both panels, and then here I have that sewn. So just push your pocket outward, and then your seam allowance can kind of push also outwards towards the side seam. And then we're going to place our skirt panel pieces right sides together and pin them, and then we'll sew down the side and then pivot around the pocket and then come back up, pivot, and come all the way down the side seam of the skirt. And you'll repeat that on both sides. And then here I have that done. Now we're going to add a gathering stitch around the top of our skirt. So here I have that here, and I accidentally sewed this on the wrong side. You should be sewing this on the wrong side of the skirt, not the right side. So I'm doing this a different method. I'm going to zigzag over this embroidery floss, and then we'll be able to pull the floss to gather it. And it's just a simple kind of different way to do it. So basically I set my machine to the widest zigzag stitch possible, and then just making sure not to stitch it all on the embroidery floss, and I just kind of work your way around the area that you want to gather. This is also a really great method if you are trying to gather like a slightly heavier weight fabric, because sometimes when you try to put gathering stitches on a heavier fabric, when you go to pull them, it snaps the threads. So this is a way of doing that. That just, you know, it might take, I think it actually takes about the same amount of time at the end of the day, but yeah, it's just an option. Here's that done, and we'll just pull on the embroidery floss to gather it. Now we're going to join the skirt to the bodice, so I'll flip my skirt wrong side out and then stick the bodice in there so that the skirt and the bodice are right sides together, and then we're going to pin them together at that waist seam, matching up the side seams, and then you'll pull on the threads or your gathering stitches until the length of the gathered skirt matches the length of your bodice hem. And then you'll kind of scooch those around and pin them in place until you've got them perfect, and then we'll take it over to the machine and sew it. After it's all sewn up, you can just pull this thread just right out. It's kind of gratifying. Then you're just going to trim away any excess fabric and you're good to go. You'll just hem it up by turning the hem under and stitching it. And then if you wanted to add elastic to the waistband to kind of give it a little bit of extra reinforcement, you could top stitch that to the underside of the bodice at the waist seam. But yeah, that's it. Here is the completed dress. I just love it so much. It's so comfortable and it just feels like very pretty. Yeah, I'm like a goth ballerina summertime gal. Anyway, here's a few ways I'm gonna style it. Here I am styling it with a little straw hat, and then I will, this little neckerchief that I can tie around my neck, and it's a cute little look, and if I need it to pull up over my face, I can also do that. And this is like a cute picnic look, I feel like hanging out in the park. And I have this cute straw backpack that I got from my friend. I'll link her boutique below, but I'm mixing straws in this outfit. Here I have it styled with my Olya shirt. It's a pattern by Paper Theory. I love that company, and yeah, I love this top. I added a cute little detail to the back yoke that I'm quite proud of, just like a little quilt block. And yeah, this is kind of, I don't know, just break up the black. Gives it a little bit of a different look. And this one like barely counts, but I do actually really like how this looks. I just added a belt, which gives me kind of cowgirl. Like, am I a goth cowgirl here? Anyway, I love it. Anyway, I hope that this hack was helpful or inspiring. And yeah, I'll see you next week for more sewing content. Bye.